My name is Robin Coggswell. I'm a staff attorney here with the Georgia Justice Project, located in Atlanta, Georgia, right off of Edgewood Avenue, right around the corner from the King Center, which is a historical site here in Atlanta, Georgia. Actually, being an attorney is my third career. I was actually in education, and then I moved into corporate America for approximately 18 years. I worked for organizations, large corporations. I worked primarily in corporate management and training and development. Early on in my career in management, I made a decision that one day I'd like to go back to law school and do something. Wasn't sure what it was. As I progressed through life and through life experiences, I realized how fortunate I was to have an education, to be able to demand a pretty good position, a good paying job. And I realized that everyone didn't have that opportunity, that there were a lot of people out there in need. A lot of people out there, because of their economic situation, could not afford to go to college. And more importantly, couldn't afford the basic necessities of life. Things that we a lot of times take for granted, such as food and shelter, and being able to get up every day and brush our teeth and comb our hair and put on clean clothes and have a place to rest their head. So later on in my career, I decided that I definitely wanted to go back to law school and wanted to do something for the poor. So I took that task on at approximately 40 plus. I won't tell you exactly the number of years. I graduated from law school in 2005, passed the bar, and while I was in law school, I had an opportunity to do an externship. And my externship actually was with the Georgia Justice Project. And I really became acquainted with a certain segment of our society that I didn't really have a up close and personal view of the challenges of their lives. And I was able to gain that experience and exposure through my externship here with the Georgia Justice Project. So I kept coming back. I did one externship, and then I did an actual internship here, in which I was able to assist a retired partner from a large law firm here, as well with some other law students, and helping individuals salvage their Section 8 housing vouchers. And that was a very good challenge, and I learned a lot through that. And at the same time, we were able to save families from actually becoming homeless. I again came back again and part of a criminal justice clinic in which I participated in. And again, so I just kept becoming more and more familiar with the organization as a whole. And also, it kept reaffirming that this is the type of work that I wanted to do. So I landed here at the Georgia Justice Project. I've been here for approximately 3 years. I've handled an array of complexity of cases, everywhere from violating a city ordinance all the way up through now preparing to defend one of my clients in a murder case coming up in July. So I pretty much have worked the whole gamut. I definitely know that we make a difference here. We make an immediate impact on people's lives. We provide quality legal representation. We work along with the Social Services Department in actually ensuring that people take a look at the responsibility that they have in actually landing in the spot they're in today. And that's irregardless of innocent or guilt. They have to take a responsibility that what got me here. Whether it's just being at the wrong place with the wrong time, or could possibly be to more economic factors, such as, again, the person being homeless, the person not able to provide the basic necessities of life, such as food. So a lot of these are attributing factors in terms of what we explore with the individual, in terms of why they end up being in a certain position. Having a legal case against them, a criminal case particularly against them, and we're able to work through that plan. It has definitely helped in making certain determinations in terms of strategy. We've gotten some great outcomes with judges and pleas with prosecutors based on the social services component of our organization. Also, is one thing that judges look at is how is this person being put back on track. So we have a New Horizon landscaping company, which again provides an opportunity to help transition that person back into becoming a productive citizen. So when you look at the threefold approach, the legal representation, which is free, in exchange for their compliance with our social services program, which is for their benefit 100%. And we explain that to them. When we ask you to do something in terms of helping to get your life back on track, it's not for the attorney, it's not for the social worker, it is for them. And they must understand that. And that's the actual buy-in. They must have the buy-in to make this work. So again, the threefold, the holistic approach is something that has worked for our clients. I think it is something that really needs to be replicated throughout the country because it's definitely a need for it. Well, again, I think every lawyer is going to say something different. But for me, I knew that when I pursued a legal career that I definitely wanted to make an impact on people's lives. And because I'm able to do that, there are some positions that people may not like getting up in the morning. We hear that all the time. But every single day, I enjoy getting up and enjoy coming here because I know that the time spent, my energy is towards something that's worthwhile and is helping to make a difference in people's lives that cannot ordinarily help themselves in a lot of different areas, such as the legal piece and such as the social services. So we definitely make a difference. I make a difference, and I enjoy that. When you have very little resources and you have a lot of burden on those resources, there are times when it ends up being an inefficient system. And it really has to deal with the fact that you have, for example, a public defender where that position pretty much is state funded. They may have 100 and some odd cases that they have to handle, and they're expected to do quality legal representation on 100+ cases simultaneously. That is a very, very big challenge. That is a very, very big problem. It is hard to do everything you need to do, particularly on a criminal case. And that goes from the initial investigation, the interviewing witnesses, to preparing your clients, to dealing with the clients' families, to actually preparing motions, attending all the court proceedings. Now imagine having 100+ cases that you have to do that for simultaneously. So it's in terms of indigent defense, again, you have such a demand for quality legal representation because legal representation, number one, is not cheap. And number two, if you're indigent, you have no money, you have no resources, so you have no other place to go other than to depend on the state-funded system. My caseload right now is approximately 20 cases. And again, I have 2 murder cases, which I'm working on. And so we try not to take a lot of complex cases simultaneously for those same very reasons. We want to be able to do a quality job on each and every case. And that means dissecting it, taking it apart, uncovering every witness, uncovering every piece of evidence, and preparing your case to ensure that your client receives the constitutional protection that is deserving of them. We have that opportunity to spend a lot of time on a particular case because we do not have the same funding ties that the public defender has. And again, this is not at all a criticism of the public defender's system. I know a lot of public defenders and they're wonderful and effective lawyers. It's just, again, when you have an enormous caseload, it is very challenging to try to give every particular client its due.
My name